Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I know we're talking about Monat a lot lately, but it is the gift that just keeps giving, kind of like, what is it, chlamydia or gonorrhea? It's one of those STIs, my apologies, that just keeps on giving, doesn't it? So, Monat issued some announcements, and the ex-reps that were fired are spilling the tea on the situations. They brought back their shares, their founder shares. This video is going to be featuring a girl that has been featured in my videos before, and she's a top rep who was fired, and also the Monat witch, and she's not with any MLM anymore. So I think she's just going hog wild, letting us all know what really is up with Monat. Let's just get right into what these girls have to say.
You guys, I am not trying to be rude, and I am not trying to start anything. But the reason I'm in a traffic circle, for all of you who are like, your hands aren't on the wheel, I'm stopped at a traffic circle. The reason
I'm stopped at a traffic circle, but the car's moving. We can see the steering wheel. Thumbs down for filming and driving, like major thumbs down. No stamp of approval from anybody for that one. That's a poor choice, especially with your child in your car. You suck for that.
founder shares are back is because everybody lost them. Guys, this is not a good thing. It is not a good thing that a company brings back founder shares years after, 10 years after they've started. This is not a good thing. This is not a good sign. Like, yay, founder shares are back.
Yeah, I think a lot of times in MLMs, you end up grasping for straws and you can't see that. I'm gonna agree with what she's saying. It is not a good thing. It is a red flag. It is a bad sign. Kind of like when pre-Panini, my company was giving away $10 kits. I should have seen that as a red flag, but I didn't. And the fact that they have so many sales, there's always a sale going on. Monat used to have constant flash sales apparently. Red flags, especially because the distributors don't actually get paid that much. And it works anyway. That's how it was for us. You didn't actually get paid that much on those sales because the price is marked down, so was the amount you were getting paid. Like you could see it on the website.
The only reason they're back is because every single person who had them lost them, which means if you get them, you will lose them
Did they lose them because they got fired?
too. When a company opens, a network marketing company, in the first year that they're in business, anyone who achieves a certain rank gets founder shares. I was talking to Naka because we just finished our walk. So what they don't tell you is when you lose that rank, you lose the founder shares. So I found this out because obviously founder shares in America closed a decade ago, 9 years ago. And so when one of the girls who was on my team hit founder shares in Australia, I got founder shares as well. Well, they told me that I would be set for life, that, my daughter would be set for life as a single mom. Like, it's amazing. You guys, as soon as the girl on my team lost that rank, we lost founder shares. Same thing.
I hate to be that guy, but I think the Monat witch needs to be a big lesson to all of us, as well as the top reps of Monat that were also fired, because number one, they do not give a flying fuckadoodle about you, period. Period. They're going to use you for what they can, and bye-bye they go. They can make it seem any type of way to anybody, like they really care about you guys. They don't. I'm telling you right now, they don't. And the proof is in the pudding. The past, 4 or 5 Monat videos are proof. And it's interesting that I'm assuming there's some sort of agreement or a contract or an understanding. Like, I feel like there's no way that you really think if you quit or get fired from Monat that you would keep those shares. I can't actually make myself believe that. I don't think, I know MLMs keep a lot of things hush hush secret or in the gray area, but a lot of times when you're doing anything official, like with the car bonus programs, like you are signing stuff, you are signing agreements, and there are understandings that happen. So how did you have no idea that when you're not in Monat, you're not going to be getting those shares anymore?
As the car, they make it seem like this really amazing thing, but as soon as you lose your rank, you lose your car payments. As soon as you lose your rank, you lose your founder shares.
What? It's almost like we've been saying that the whole time in the anti-MLM community. That's so crazy. Could it be that that's part of what we find so misleading and what we like to talk about and the manipulation and the wording? Just because you guys are excited in Monat when you're talking about the car program doesn't actually make it a good idea. It's just another way for you to tug on people's heartstrings. Don't you want a car? A nice car? A safer car for your kids? What mom doesn't want that? Yeah, we see right through it on the outside. Welcome to the outside. I don't know if she's anti-MLM, but welcome to the outside. But also, we don't claim her because she doesn't like gay people.
And there are people who, I'm not going to name names. I'm going to keep this, I'm going to be done after this slide. There are people who have thousands, tens of thousands of people underneath them, and they are struggling to keep their rank.
What? Is it because every month you start over? Like you keep your rank that your highest rank you got and then it starts over? Oh, so it's like a hamster on a hamster wheel, even for the top boss babes. Maybe not so much for the one percenters. It's not going to affect them the same way. But we've been saying that.
So the likelihood that, I have to tell you something else. The likelihood that you get founder shares is zero. Like, you are not going to keep them. You will not be set for life, and you will lose them as soon as you lose your rank.
Yep. And I feel like she's not just realizing this. So I think we would have all appreciated you admitting that information while you're in Monat. That would have been a good time. The honesty thing. This is why you can't really be honest in MLM, because if she said this while she was in the MLM, people wouldn't want to rank up and get the car bonus.
Guys, I saw a Kanye West truck. The Kanye West cars that are like $2.5 million, and there's like 100 of them made. I saw one at the traffic circle. You have a greater likelihood of being able to buy a Kanye West mobile than you do getting founder shares. There are just so many things that are just straight, like, that are just such deception. That are just such deception.
She shares some screenshots that looks like they're from WhatsApp. I have 3 shares and 125 on miscellaneous. Is that what that means? Okay, yeah, my shares were 125.52. This is a director at the top of the company. She has 3 founder shares. She made 125 on those shares in quarter 1, $125. The math ain't mathing. I have 2 shares and mine were 86, 86 as in deleted. And guess what happens when more people get shares? The shares are worth less. I'm just breaking it down for the people who are still drinking the Kool-Aid. Reopening founders means red flags, run. Yeah, it seems like a way to get people to like want to rank up and get in the company and think it's a new shiny thing. And it's really not. It's tired and it's overplayed. And why would you want to split some money like a gazillion different ways? Like I'm saying that like a gazillion people are going to get it. They're not. But you were looking at what people are claiming they were making 125 to 86. Yeah, I'm not like jumping up and down for either of those numbers. But if it's decreasing, I'm definitely not even standing up. And then she posts something about probably more, it looks like it's from an account that is anti-wax. And the following slides are talking about what happened during the panini. So I'm going to censor myself a little bit because I know how sensitive Sally YouTube is. So I saw with COVID that people would do anything to fit in, get waxed, potentially harming themselves and their kids for life, hate their friends and family for not conforming. I was even physically attacked at an outside park by an older man for not wearing a mask. The panini, but she's using an L in there because she thinks it was all part of someone's plan. Do you know what I'm saying? Wasn't a virus. The plan was to see how much big Klarna could take from people without them even noticing they were being blatantly harmed. Okay? So if you know what land of delusion the Monat witch is coming from, please search her up in YouTube, as well as taking what I've found for you in this video. And now that I've left Monat, I see a very similar thing. Women blatantly deceiving so that they can make sure that their paychecks are as big as possible before the ship sinks. It's like a last-ditch effort because they know everyone is making less, the shares are worth nothing, no one is keeping their car payment, and no one is winning with honesty and integrity. Well, no one was doing any of those things even when you were in it, even during the boom during the panini. Well, during the beginning, I guess. The people at the top are parading a big facade of success to dupe anyone into joining them. Because why work harder when you can have thousands of people under you working instead? With COVID, the people are the top. I think she means at the top. The people at the top knew everyone would eventually find the truth. We are watching the same thing with Monat, y'all. Are we? Someone asked me today if I missed the 5 checks a month, and my response was, I forgot about them, so no. Well, considering one of her last checks were $100, in today's money, unfortunately, that doesn't mean a whole lot. So I can see why. I don't want dirty money, deceitful money. I don't want to get paid by a company who lies about every single thing and has somehow convinced a ton of Christian women to do the same to unsuspecting mothers and women who are trying to make a living from their phone while being home with their babies. Well, that's the main selling point of MLM, period. So I hope she's including that for all of Veda and all the other ones that are women-centered, which are also by default mother-centered. I get it. Once you're making 20K plus a month, it's easy to ignore. Absolutely. It's absolutely easy to look away. But there reaches a point where you can't ignore the harm you're doing. Well, a lot of people, especially the top boss babes in MLM, are doing just that and they are okay with it. That's why they don't spill the tea until they've left. And suddenly it wasn't so awesome. And suddenly it wasn't worth recruiting a bunch of people into. Not to mention, I'm sure some of the reps who joined towards the end of their time, even when they were plotting to leave, probably feel some sort of sense of abandonment by their leader. So I wonder how they're feeling, the fallout, the little people who are like how I was in MLM when their top leader leaves or gets fired or goes to another company and suddenly now it's not so great. Those people probably feel like they were deceived or blatantly lied to because apparently Monat lies about every single thing. Not my words, that's according to the Monat witch, the Monat Christian, the olive Christian, just the Christian, because she left MLM in the dust. And we have a second top leader who's in Monat, who's now in Olive Tree People, who's speaking out about the shares as well. She captioned this, not my 3 founder shares from my old company being worth less than $200 a quarter. Don't fall for it. 3 shares under $200. If you're actually someone working in an MLM, that's not worth it. Like, sure, yeah, if you're counting every penny, it's worth it. But when you're on the outside looking in, you are not getting, it's not enough to make it worthwhile. It's simply not enough to make it worth your while. And she did a Q&A on her stories, posing with a picture of herself at some Monat event. And there's a picture of her like on a huge banner. And she says, what social selling companies did you do before Aveda? Obviously, it was Monat. Here, she's doing a little bit of tea in her Q&A. Do you regret doing Monat for so long? Yes and no. I don't regret the decision as a whole. It completely changed my family's life, got my ex-husband out of the military, built us a home, gave me new opportunities, met some of the best people I know when things were good. But when the compensation plan started to not make sense, the gaslighting about product ingredients changing, toxic work culture, etc., my heart wasn't in it long before I left. I lost all desire, or it was taken from me. I regret not being immediately obedient and ignoring when the Holy Spirit was so clearly nudging me to leave and revealing things to me that are now clear. I wish I would have quit 6+ months sooner to save myself from so much, but honestly, it all works how it's supposed to. Now I just feel bad for the people who are still falling for all of the lies, smoke and mirrors, and gaslighting. Well, you need all of those things to have success in MLM. So I don't know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't think Jeebus really revealed enough to you. He needs to take the veil all the way off. He just took off the most opaque one off your head, and there's still like a clear one, and you're like, I can almost see, but I don't really want to see, because then what will I do with my life? Okay. Also, you were fired. You didn't quit, you were fired. So
I made some stories yesterday, deleted them, trying to do the right thing, which I'm starting to think that the right thing is actually to say something so people aren't like misguided and scammed into fraud.
fraud. Ma'am, that is a large accusation to make. Would you like to expand on that? Did she just accuse Monat of fraud? We can't just breeze past that and keep going, but we have to.
Trying to find the right words, actually. Just know that a lot of things are smoke and mirrors and not as they seem, and that there is a difference between profit sharing and actual stocks that you can purchase from the stock market. That's all I'm gonna say about that for now. But I'll probably say something.
And then she goes on to add even more. More to the story. For the past 1.5 years of my business, I had this unshakable pit in my stomach and absolute apathy towards anything Monat related. I felt like I had to show up because I would let people down, not because I wanted to. Yeah, because you're emotionally tied to your quote unquote business. You need to let go. You need to calm down. You need to keep it professional, keep it pushing, and do what's best for you. I don't mean joining another MLM though. It was completely out of obligation and guilt. The anxiety I felt was overwhelming. The gaslighting about always feeling like we weren't doing enough, and that's why our paychecks were going down monthly from November 2021 to when I left. That's in every MLM. So many training calls I've seen from a slew of MLMs that I've looked at say the same sentiments. You're not doing enough work. You're not doing the right kind of work, and you're not doing enough of the right kind of work. Oh, your spirituality isn't right. You need to get right with God. You need to get in your prayer closet, whatever they're saying now. Constantly chasing the missing pieces when the missing pieces are simply that you are not the 1% or the 0.001%, and you never will be. And honestly, the idolization of leaders and money made me sick. Well, as a top leader, how sick could it have possibly made you? You're posing next to a picture of yourself a few minutes ago in this video. How sick are you? Come on. The Holy Spirit completely took away my desire to share about anything. I would bully myself into thinking I had no clue what I was talking about, even though I had hit the top of the company. I earned $2.5 million in commissions and earned just about every reward I could for sponsoring, team promotions, and personal sales. Sponsoring, don't be led astray. That just means you recruited someone. That's all that means. It all finally came to a head when I attended a healing plus deliverance retreat in January of 2024, and everything was revealed to me. It was all clear that I needed to go. I started to feel like I needed to make other plans for my family, as I am the breadwinner. It all came to a head in April 2024 when obligatorily, out of obligation, I think would have been a better insert there. Went to Vegas for this big ass number on the screen time. Why did we keep going there? Because I had girls on my team that earned it. I felt like if I didn't go, I would be a bad leader, so I went anyways. Did all the normal things for their photo shoot, dinner, etc. The nail on the coffin for me was while we were sitting in session and the chairman got on stage and was insinuating that our past president that had left was the devil with a Bible. Now, that is a classic cult tactic. That is that's like literally textbook talking shit about the person who's left. And this is from leadership. This is from corporate talking shit about people who have left. And I believe the person that said this was talking about Stuart McMillan, who issued his own lawsuit against Monat and did an entire speech about how you can call yourself a Christian and be a bad person. Yes, I personally know a lot of those. I'm sure everyone watching this video does as well. While that is true, this man had never once gotten on stage and talked about faith, God, etc., and that was extremely telling to me, considering our president was the faith guy that would always encourage by God's word. Following that statement, my mouth just hung open. I was flabbergasted. Then the CEO got on stage and said, "Who the fuck cares what they think anyways?" And then I was done. Immediately sealed the deal for me. There's being relatable and there is being crass for no reason. And as a CEO, okay, as like a random person on the internet, me, hi, hello, just so happens to have a YouTube channel, I don't care if I get a little cussy because I'm not here claiming to be a professional anything. When you're a CEO, you are a professional. Now you're a CEO. Like, you're the boss man, okay? So if you want to get a little cussy, you can get a little cussy, but keep in mind the effect that it's going to have on your distributors. And as a CEO, you know that a lot of people in the company are religious. You guys have a religious ceremony, cult group meeting at the end, only for Christians though, just non-denominational. Isn't that funny? But you're going to get on stage and say to those people are in your audience. So you're going to say to those same people, who the fuck cares what they think anyway? Hello? So following that, I decided I needed to go. I tried using Olive Tree People back in July as a customer because Monat's skincare was burning my skin. I've seen other skincare professionals say that if you're putting things on your skin and it burns, it's for a couple reasons. Like you're either having an allergic reaction, your skin doesn't like it for whatever reason, or your skin doesn't like it because your skin barrier is destroyed. Was using too many of those peel pads. I made a video, I think last year, of a Monat girly putting it on her eyes. Not her eyeballs, but like the very delicate skin here, putting the peel pad there. I'm crying just thinking about it because my eyes are so sensitive. I literally cannot imagine doing that to myself. And also, that might be possible because if there's fragrance in their skincare, even essential oils can be very disruptive and annoying to the skin. My skin doesn't even like essential oils. I will do it for some things. Sometimes I do use the fragrance. But for 99.9% of the time, I'm not using it because my skin's not gonna like it. The skin on my arms, the skin on my face, the skin on my back, the skin on my legs. It's not gonna be a good time. Sometimes I could get away with a scented lotion on my feet though, and that's random. I really like the product, and to prove I never intended to sell it, I don't have a single intentional before and after of when I started using Olive Tree People brand. I enrolled on February 13th and didn't work my business at all until March 1st. Even then, I was only sharing products here and there. That's when my upline slash CEO comes into the story. Your upline, who's the CEO of Olive Tree People? What the fuck? Why would you say that? Why would you say that out loud? And there's a lot I could say about that. Let's just say the way she tried to spiritual manipulate me was insane. Oh, is she talking about Monat? The Monat CEO is a dude. I don't get it. Telling me the way I felt was not by way of Holy Spirit, but because the old president was trying to divide and destroy the company behind the scenes. LOL. Sis, I know when God is talking to me. She also told me that commissions never changed. Ingredients didn't change. She also said that all of the big Christian leaders were leaving because of what our president had done. Lies. She then had other leaders try to contact me and manipulate me further and said I should talk to the CEO. I said I didn't want to, and that's when I got a text around 5 p.m. that day from Ray saying that we should talk. I confronted her about talking to Ray, and she lied and said she didn't, LOL. But considering Ray's first words on the phone was, "So I talked to blank today, and there's rumors you joined another company," and that's that. I was terminated 3 days after that call. You didn't put that in your post. You didn't mention that you had joined a competing company. And I believe that predates the FTC putting forth the non-competes, like aren't going to be very enforceable now. You forgot to mention that in your pity party post. What? When you sign up for these companies, read the fucking contract. If it says in there that there's some sort of non-compete, and they can fire you for any reason and just not call it the non-compete. Okay, like they can just delete your account. Like it's not hard for them to do. Apparently, because they will fire their first reps ever. Okay, they don't value you, especially if you're a peon like I was. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking your MLM cares about you, or even if you work for any corporation, that they care about you no matter what. Like they just have your back and you guys are family. You shouldn't be. It should be professional. It should be kept professional. Stop bringing Jeebus into it and stop bringing all your feelings into it. But we were removed from my upline's chats before I was ever formally terminated. She lied to team, said I was lying to them, hiding things and using them, etc. Well, you're definitely using everyone in your MLM now, so not much has changed there, has it? So to be clear, I was terminated for sharing other brands' products, not for cross recruitment or anything else. Yeah, you joined a company with competing products. Like, was that confusing for you? Why would you even think that's a good idea? Even if what she's saying is true and she wasn't selling the products, and I don't know if that's meant to also include recruiting, but why would you think that was a good idea? And if you told any of your ex distributors or any of them were asking you, said them, you got to keep your mouth shut. If you are leaving your MLM for another one, keep it shut until you've canceled. Like, oh my God. Let this be a lesson to any current MLMers that might be watching this. You need to fizzle out, slow fizzle. That's the safe way to do it. Then Monat decided to email me on April 12th and told me they were not going to pay me more or less $25,000 bonus that was owed to me on April 15th as a penalty. Okay, so they docked the first reps of Monat's pay, and now they're telling this girl she's not going to get her bonus as a penalty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. So while I was trying to get my ducks in a row behind the scenes to take care of my family, they don't give a fuck about your family. They don't give a fuck about you or your family. Jot that down in your notes, and neither does Olive Tree people. My intentions were always to leave. I just wasn't sure how I was going to do that without making another income for my family. The non-compete yet selling on Amazon is absolutely asinine. And the fact that you can share every product under the sun except another network marketing company is nuts. Then, just weeks after all this happened, the FTC came out with their statement about non-competes being unlawful, and the ex-president's lawsuit was public and corroborated everything I had felt and experienced and seen. Yes, that is another thing that is really shady. A lot of times in MLMs, you will hear them say the reps in their posts, especially on Facebook. That's where I used to see these all the time. And I probably made a post like that as well, where a distributor will talk about, we don't sell in big box stores like Walmart or Target because this company makes it so we get to get the commission for selling the products. Like they're doing you a fucking favor. No. Amazon and Target not selling it, or they pay us to advertise for them instead of having commercials, okay? And we all saw my Arbonne video where they had an Arbonne ad on a screen on a building. They don't care about you. They're not saving your ass. They don't care about giving you an opportunity. They care about lining their own wallets. So that's the story. In less than 2 months, I hit the top of the compensation plan in my new company. Me and my family are thriving, and I'm never looking back. God closes doors because He knows what's going on behind the scenes. All darkness will be brought to light, always. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? This new 2.0 thing is total smoke and mirrors, and the company is a sinking ship. I agree. It definitely appears to be. Please use discernment when watching all of the people. Please find out what discernment means. Please use that and use it for good. Please use discernment when watching all of the people talking about this life-changing opportunity. The last time I made myself sick, hustle for 3 shares to be told they are going to be worth thousands of dollars, only for them to be worth less than 150 for all 3 for a quarter. That doesn't even pay my electricity bill. Mine either, girly. Someone is going to say You're saying this for your own benefit so you can recruit these people leaving. Negative. I don't need to recruit anyone. Oh, do you have to say that for compliance for your new company? A lot of MLMs like to say, oh, you don't have to recruit anyone if you don't want to. You can still make money. But you're not going to climb the ranks and you're not going to hit the paychecks that everyone else who's recruiting people is. God has blessed me far more than I could have ever imagined over the last 3 months. I've built an entirely new team of incredible God led women. I'm sharing because my story, my experience, and I want others to be aware of what they are subscribing to and believing. And now I've said my piece. Thank you for new chapters. There are a lot more semantics to the entire story, but just know I left behind $25,000 paychecks. And being the number 30 global income earner, hear me, no amount of money would get me to stay where I feel called away from, don't believe in, feel manipulated, scammed, etc. I was offered money to stay by the CEO. How much money, girl? Tell us. If you're getting messy on the internet, just let us have it all. On our phone call, and my exact words were, it wouldn't be right of me to stay in a situation where I didn't have my heart in it. And no amount of money could get me to do that. I'd have no integrity at that point. Were you just trying to get more money from him? So, whatever you've heard about me, it's probably a lie by someone that benefits from you working your business. That's completely possible, though, actually. And while I like to call out fake victims, like I feel like she is because she joined another MLM with competing products while she was in another MLM, knowing that they had a non-compete, and then she got terminated. Like, please use your discernment when listening to MLMers. How about that? How about we use our discernment there? And there's just a couple more things I want to show you before we close out this video. I'm saying that because it reminds me of when I used to go to church, and as soon as I started hearing either the outro music, like when it was ending, or when the pastor would say, and the last thing before we close out today's service, and I knew it was finally over. S. McMillan says that the Urdinettas operate like a mafia family running an unprincipled syndicate. True or false? I would say true. The greater than thou mentality is honestly gross. The way they would make themselves unavailable and rope off a VIP section just for them and only select leaders could go in, ick. Even Blank noticed it. I don't know who that is.
Looks like I didn't film an outro for some reason. So if you like this video, give it a little likesy poo. If you have commentary to share with the class, leave that down below. And if you super like this video, share it with your besties. And make sure you are subscribed so you get to see all of my videos. Thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next one.